So it's a big day around here. You can see that it's warmed up a little bit. All next week it's supposed to rain, so, well, I don't see anything worse than a 50% chance, but then when you watch the YouTube channels, the weather channels, you know, they got channels that do weather. They're saying that we're going to get hit really hard, but I don't know. I can never trust any of them. So as you know, we had little chicks that we tried to incubate chicks, and we only got 2 out of the batch. So a little disappointing. So we went ahead and bought some chicks, and we ended up getting, well, I think we had 22 to start with, and we had, I think, 3 die. So I guess that left us with 19 total. So the 2, so I guess we got 20. So we had 22 because we incubated 2, 3 died, and the rest survived, and we brought them out here, and this worked absolutely fantastic. This is underneath the bed of the camper, and we were able to extend it out, and it's sectional. So when we first started, we only had the front section, and then when they got a little bigger, we could open it up, and the front end opens up too. So it opens up like this, it just pops right up. And then we had a little heater that we bought. I have no idea what that is, a little heat plate, and we put it in the cat carrier, and then the cat carrier, they go in it at night underneath that little heat plate, and it would keep them warm. And that was only 30 watts, so we were able to run that with the solar panels and the batteries. It took a little bit of more energy than what we had available, a little bit, just on my trust level. We have plenty of batteries. Every time I say this, I don't explain it well enough so people think that I'm crazy. I've got plenty of batteries. I do have plenty of batteries. I just don't want to risk my batteries getting below 12.3 volts because you start to damage the battery. So when I would go to bed at night, of course, you know, the sun sets around 4 o'clock during the time that we first got them, 4 or 5 o'clock, something like that. So you would have several hours before you go to bed. So I would run the generator for an hour or two, maybe an hour in the evening and an hour in the morning. So I ran it a little bit more just to make sure I didn't hurt the batteries. I'm going to shut that light off now. We don't need it anymore. And then I can unplug it too. Well, no, I won't unplug it because we'll need to clean underneath there. But then it warmed up enough, or they got old enough where we didn't think they needed the heat anymore. We learned that having them at this 90-degree temperature and then 95 the next week, or I'm sorry, I guess it was 95 first week, 90 the next week, 85, dropping it every week isn't really necessary. They huddle together, they keep warm, and they're not dying. So Carolyn's been out here trying to fix this up. These are the springtime projects that she really likes to do. But it's been so muddy. It's been almost impossible to work out here. So it's been dry for a few days now. So she's been out here working. I've been telling you that the well's getting discolored. I want to give you an update on that. I am convinced now the well is not dirty. I've told you that there was a guy came by, he was walking, and he said, no, everybody's well gets discolored like that. It's totally fine. I mean, it's really discolored. But what's happening is that rainwater, the ground is so saturated, it's coming through all that bedrock, and it just picks up minerals and different things, and it changes the color of the water. But I wasn't totally convinced. Usually when the water's dirty, you fill up a white bucket, and the water, the dirt in the water settles down to the bottom, so you can take your finger and streak it at the bottom, and you can see that there's a streak there because there was dirt that settled there. That wasn't happening this time. It was just discolored. So I've been running it through the Berkey, and you would think if it was dirty, the Berkey would get clogged up. The Berkey gets clogged up pretty easy when you're running dirty water through it. And it's not clogging. It's still running pretty efficiently. I've ran, I don't know, 6 or 7, 8 tanks full through it now since all this has happened. And it's still running just as quickly as it always has. So I'm pretty convinced that we got the well problem settled. As much rain as we had, and it didn't get dirty. It got discolored, but not dirty. And I got to thinking about this. I used to rent a place that I never checked the well. Not once did I ever check the color of the water. We showered all the time, so you didn't fill the tub up, so you didn't see the water. I never filled a bucket. And so you never saw 5 gallons of water sitting in a white bucket and say, huh, that's dirty water. We just never saw it. And even with this water, you fill a cup up or glass up, you don't see the dirt, not at all. So it's just discolored. That being said, I would imagine that house that we rented, the well was more dirty than it is here because the Berkey got clogged really bad there. So Carolyn's, like I said, been working on this now since it dried out. So she's gotten the big chicks and the little chicks. You got to separate them because the big chicks will kill the little chicks. So she's been working on a fence to get them separated here. And this is going to be permanent now. Last year or 2 years ago, I guess, we had a less permanent. I think my face fell out of the frame there. I apologize. So she's been working on getting this separation here. Now, flies are pretty bad right now. The big chickens will get butchered this fall. So that will leave us just with the little chickens. So the little chickens will stay in this area where the fence is, all the way around here. So they'll start producing, the little chickens will start producing this fall. Then next spring, we'll get another batch. Yeah, we'll get another batch next spring. And they'll go over here where these big chickens are. That way they'll start producing. And then next fall, so a year and a half from now, these guys will get butchered. So every other year they'll get butchered. And that way, because the second year of production, the second summer of production, is the highest production rate your chickens will have. So you get them through that second year. And then the reason you want to have little ones produced in the springtime is because by fall time they'll start producing and the big ones will go into molt. So we'll butcher these right when they go into molt because they'll stop laying eggs and then they're just a waste of food. So we brought the little chickens out here today. You might be able to see them. They're a little skittish. They got moved. You might see them. Yeah, you can see some of them there, I think. So we brought them out. And yeah, they're just they're still a little skittish. It was a rough day for them. So they're hiding. So we brought them out. Now we'll leave them in here for about 2 days. We won't let them out into the run at all. And that way they get to use the idea that this is their new home. And then when it's bedtime, then they'll go into bed by themselves. One of the worst chores I have is chasing chickens. I absolutely hate it. And so when you bring chicks out, that's all you do for a while, is just chase chickens around trying to get them to go in their house. And it's very frustrating. So if we can just get them to go in on their own when it's bedtime, then it's a lot easier. Chickens. I've talked about this before. Taking care of chickens now to me is just a monotonous job. It's not hard. There's nothing difficult about it. It's just something that, I don't know. It's like, I guess. Go out and, so I come out here about 7 o'clock every night, get them fed, get them watered, and they're already in bed. And I close up the chicken coop, and that's all I got to do. I mean, it's not a big job. It really isn't. It's just something that you just want to relax for the evening before you go out and take care of them and get them all closed up. Now, it does become more a pain when you got 2 batches, because now you got to have 2 buckets of water and you got to have 2 feeding bins. And so I'm not complaining. I just want to be absolutely clear that if you're going to take care of chickens, it's got to be for one of 2 reasons, I would say. One, it has to be a passion, something that you really like. You know, like a dog. I mean, people love their dogs and cats. So it's something that you really want to do. Or it's for food. And you just treat it like a job. And that's what it is for me. It's just a job for me now. It's food. And butchering is the same thing. Butchering is not a hard job. I do about 3 to 6 a day. That's all I'll do. do about 6, and then I can can them the next day, and then 6 more. It's just as relaxing as the lifestyle is for me. It's just those periods of time where you got extra work to do, and you're just like, man, what happened to the relaxation? So, but most of the life is very enjoyable here, and I have no complaints. Taking care of chickens a few hours a day, well, not a few hours, a few minutes a day. It may take me in total an hour to deal with the chickens, and then the rest of the day is pretty easy. I will say Carolyn does a lot of the work during the spring, getting the chickens, or the chicks. She deals with the chicks more than I do. It's something that she really likes to do, I think. Like I said, she put all that together. She used to go down and clean out the chicken box, you know, that I just showed you in the camper. So that was kind of her thing. But I get up in the morning, I fed the little chicks, made sure they had water, woke them up. I do that about 6 o'clock. And then in the evening, I put them away. You know, I just closed the lid on that after I got done with the big chicks. So I feed the big chicks in the evening, feed the little chicks in the morning. But now I'll just do it all in the evening time. It'll just be a little, like I said, it takes me about an hour. It'll probably take me an hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes to get everything done this evening with all the chicks. I also got one of those water buckets that needs some repair. I got to get that fixed up so the little chicks have a bucket they can drink out. They're getting where they drink a lot of water. Almost 2 gallons a day. Now, it was pretty hot in that camper, so that might be why. It might be cooler out here for them, at least initially. Of course, this summertime, it's going to be pretty hot. But maybe they'll slow down on their drinking water a little bit. I don't know. The big chicks drank probably 3 gallons last night. 2 to 3 gallons. Or yesterday. So, now, like I said, it's going to be cloudy and rainy all day. So that's one of the downsides to having farm animals living off grid. I got to run that well off the generator if there's not enough sun to run the well off solar. So you got to take that into consideration when you're raising animals. Carolyn and me have plenty of water from a 275 gallon tank, but if we started feeding them water from our tank, we'd be gone in a couple days. So you got to take all that into consideration. So if you'll click this up next box, it'll take you to a video where I was talking about chainsaws and my new plan. So I hope I can inspire you to get through the monotonous times when you're living your dreams. Thanks for watching.